بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Beware of the half-truth. You may have gotten hold of the wrong half. أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض. You believe in part of the book, you disbelieve in the other. فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم. What is the reward for you accept? خزي في الحياة الدنيا, disgrace in the life of this world. ويوم القيامة يردون إلى أشد العذاب, and on the day of resurrection they will be given the most grievous punishment, chastisement. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ, and Allah is not heedless of what you do. In these ayat, Allama Ibn Kathir has explained, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is criticizing the Jews for implementing the Torah sometimes when it suited them, and defying it at other times when it suited them. They said we bring Iman in this book, but they knew it was wrong. So they were aware of the description of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, his coming, his hijrah, which was mentioned, but it suited them fine that they did not want to believe in the Nabi of Allah. So the consequences was that they suffered the curse of Allah, and these facts they intentionally hid it, they covered up. So likewise, as people of Iman also, we need to be evaluating ourselves and checking whether I am being selective on my deen and choosing what I think I should follow, what I perceive I should follow, or what my desire fancies. There was a group of 6 blind men who heard about a circus coming to town. Those days elephants were very rare and people had not seen them. So they were quite curious. They said, we must go and inspect the elephant. So the first blind man went and he touched the trunk. And he said, this is like a snake, a serpent. The other one touched the ear, it says it's like a fan. The third person touched his leg, he said it's like a bark of a tree, a trunk of a tree. The fourth person touched the body of the elephant and said it is like a wall. Another one touched its tail and says it is like a rope. The last one touched the tusk and said it is like a spear. So each one of them described the elephant, but none of them were close to what it was. So we selectively live in this fallacy, and based on one's experience, not in the light of Quran and Hadith, this inherent failure of ours becomes a barrier to see the truth, and a person now starts contradicting Quran and Hadith because there isn't the deeper understanding, and going to the ulama-e-haq, the ulama-e-rabbaniyin, the friends of Allah, and getting the true perspective. And that's where healers and loopholes come in as well. Like the son came to the father and said, I need to go out tonight, Saturday night. He said, did you ask your mother? He said, yes, of course, of course. So the father said, okay, permission. But the son didn't say, I did ask Ami, and she said no. So in Deen as well, we have this perception that I'm in Deen, but I'm actually very far from Deen. By selectively choosing, picking, singling out what suits me, what suits the nafs, I choose that. It's all a play of words. Somebody goes to a mufti, asks a question, but he puts the masla and phrases it because he's gone to other muftis, he knows where he's gone wrong. So how should I phrase the fatwa? If I can't get the mufti to comply, firstly I'll phrase the question so I can get the answer I want, and if it doesn't come right, I'll find the mufti that will give me a fatwa I want. So where do we choose? Somebody goes for mashwara depending on the situation, and they give one side of the story. So Hazrat, they go to Hazrat, they go to their sheikh, they go to the ulama, this is the situation, my partner in my business, my wife. But you give in your side of the story with all the masala and all the extra footnotes, and you don't give a balanced view because you want him to tell you exactly how you want to hear it. Somebody said, and this is a play of words, my great grandfather died while making a political speech to a crowd when the platform on which he was standing gave way. This is narrating, making the great grandfather a hero. But the actual story is that your great grandfather was convicted of being a thief. They were hanging him. They asked him for his last words. And he said, tell the judge, tell the courts, tell the government to go to Jahannam. They can do what they want, I'm not bothered. So the hangman pulled the lever, trapdoor opened, and he was dispatched. It was the end of his life. So how it was phrased, in World War I, there was a British Secret Service officer who wanted to take out, assassinate a Turkish official. So he sent him a package of gold with a letter of thanks, but he leaked information. So he created a gift to be sent to this official. He leaked intel that this Turkish official is getting bribes, he's an agent, and he had it intercepted. So the gold was real, the letter was real, but treason was not. So to kill this nafs, we need to go to the ulama haq, we need to spend time with the friends of Allah, we need to go out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To humanity, ukhrijat linnas, go to those who are close to Allah, who can introduce you to Allah. Haji Imdadullah rahmatullah alayhi once said that there was a certain buzruk who was busy in meditation, divine meditation. So as the dog passed, and the gaze of this pious person fell onto this dog while he was meditating. The effect was such that this dog now, wherever it went, other dogs would follow it and be with it wherever it sat, as if it was circling around it. So on this incident, Hazrat Thanwi rahimahullah used to say, as if this dog has become the sheikh of all the other dogs. And if the barakah and the blessings of the pious can fall on an animal, then how can a human being be deprived? Never lose hope. We just need to incline to the correct path. We need to find haqq. Even in the world today, in the everyday life, things which we believe, which we perceive, which we consider to be truth, which we consider to be haqq, but we're actually very far from it. The year doesn't have 365 days, it's 0.25. So Pluto isn't a planet. We say peanuts, it's not a nut, it's a legume. A hydrogen bond is not a bond, it's a electromagnetic attraction. The American buffalo is not a buffalo, it's a bison. Koala bear is not a bear. A starfish isn't a fish. A palm tree is not a tree, it's a type of a grass. Swollen glands are not glands, they're lymph nodes. I seen a mountain goat, it's not a goat. Even the color pink is not actually a color. There's no pink light. So, if in the dunya there's so much uncertainty, then in our deen, how cautious we have to be in all our affairs to make sure that on the day of Qiyamah, Allah protect one and all, Allah guide one and all, Allah give us the understanding. On the day of Qiyamah, أَنَا سَيِّدُ النَّاسِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, Nabi alayhi salam will be the leader of humanity on the day of Qiyamah, and people will be gathered on one plane, and فَيَبْلُغُ النَّاسَ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَالْكَرْبِ مَا لَا يُطِيقُونَ. People will reach such stress levels that they will not be able to manage it. So they'll say, أَلَا تَرَوْنَ مَا أَنْتُمْ فِيهِ. Shouldn't we find a servant? Let's go to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Let's find a solution. A servant of Allah who will accelerate this process of hisab kitab. يا آدم أنت أبو البشر خلقك الله بيده ونفخ فيك من روحه. These are all the fadail of Adam alayhi salam, and we in the situation. So Adam alayhi salatu wasalam will say, Inna Rabbi ghadib al-yawm ghadban lam yaghdab qablahu mithlahu. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu has gotten so angry. He has never been so angry and will never get angry again. وَإِنَّهُ نَهَانِي عَنِ الشَّجَرَةِ فَعَسَيْتُهُ. I was given instructions and I didn't fulfill those requirements. Nafsi, Nafsi. اذهبوا إلى غيري اذهبوا إلى نوح. Go to Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. I'm worried about myself. يا نوح أنت أول الرسل سماك الله عبدا شكورا اشفع لنا إلى ربك. They will also request Nuh alayhi salam. إن ربي قد غضب اليوم غضبا لم يغضب قبله مثله. The level of anger has never been seen and will never be seen. I made dua against my people, Nafsi, Nafsi. I'm worried about that. One action, I'm worried. So they were worried in their entire life, one action. And our entire lives, is there any one good I can put forward to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? اذهبوا إلى إبراهيم. Go to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. أنت نبي الله وخليله من أهل الأرض اشفع لنا إلى ربك. Please do something. قد غضب, anger like never before. And then he will narrate about where he said, Inni Saqim. I am those words which he used, which he is afraid that on the day of Qiyamah, Allah will, on Judgment Day, while the Hisab is taking place, Allah will take me to task for those words. Nafsi, Nafsi, idhabu ila Musa. Like that they will tell Musa alayhi salatu wassalam the fadail. So Musa alayhi salam will say the same thing. Allah is angry. قتلت نفسا, and I was a cause of somebody being killed. Nafsi, Nafsi. Likewise they will go to Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, the Nabi of Allah, in Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam, will then intercede. The point of this riwayah is great Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam will not consider themselves worthy of saying anything in front of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, in front of Rabbul Alameen. So we need to check ourselves all the time. Deen and the interpretation of Deen, there is no room for opinion. There's no room for opinion. This worldly systems does not allow opinion, but there is experts in the field. In Deen also, there are experts in the field. They say on the stock market, if we had to summarize the stock market, somebody is giving a report, it'll say helium was up, feathers were down, paper was stationary, fluorescent tubes were down in the light of trading, knives were up sharply, pencils were down a few points, elevators were up and down, escalators experienced a slight decline, mining equipment hit rock bottom, sun peaked at midday, the market for raisins dried up, there was no move for artists' models, vacuum cleaners picked up, caravans were trailing, socks were unchanged, balloon prices were inflated, and the bottom fell out of disposable nappies. So interpretation. Am I in the dark? I believe I'm in Deen, I believe I'm doing khidmah of Deen, I believe I'm doing the amal of Deen, I believe I'm on haqq. But how close am I to Deen? How close am I to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants? How close am I to the truth? Am I in this fallacy? Am I in this darkness? Like there was a famous private investigator and his student was with him, his assistant. So on their travels they had to camp. So they had a meal and prepared everything, and it was time to go to rest. So they went to lay down and sleep. Then a few hours later, the PI woke up, he nudged his student and says, look up at the sky and tell me what you see. The student said, I see millions and millions of stars. What else do you see? The detective, the PI asked, he said, astronomically tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Horologically, I deduce that the time is approximately 2:25 a.m. Theologically, I can see that God is all-powerful and we are small and insignificant. And meteorologically, I believe you will have a glorious day tomorrow. What do you have to say? He's telling his ustad, what do you have to say? So the ustad tells his student, Bewakuf, you imbecile, some thief has stolen our tent. Some thief has stolen our tent. So where is the story and where is the reality? Two different platforms. So we must see, how much am I in the darkness? So there were two truck drivers. They came to a low bridge. So the sign said 10 foot 8 inches. So they decided to measure the truck, and the truck was 11 feet. So they started looking around. Then the one man, the driver, told the other assistant driver, I can't see any police, let's go for it. I can't see any police, let's go for it. You're not going to go anywhere. So sometimes we're in such a darkness, we don't even realize it. A wife persuaded a husband to take him out for a meal, but he wasn't in a habit of going out, eating out. He didn't even know how to order from a menu. So the wife, just to make it easy, said, why don't you choose what I will be having? Why don't you have what I choose? So that's a suggestion. Why don't you have what I choose? So the husband said, what? And leave you hungry? No, I couldn't do that. So am I in the darkness? How many years of my life has gone? How much am I on haqq, and how far have I seen haqq? There was a supermodel driving home She was in a supercar, flashy sports car, and it was a hailstorm. So the hailstorm damaged the car. There were small dents. Stopped at the garage. The mechanic told her that it's very simple. When you go home, just blow into the exhaust pipe hard, and the pipes would pop out. It's a feature in these cars, yeah. It just needs reverse a flow of air. So she got back home and trying in the exhaust, huffing and puffing, but it didn't work. So the husband heard all the noise in the garage. He came back and he's asking her that what's all the story. So she said, no, I was instructed that I need to do this here. So the husband, thinking and pondering, what can she do? So he said, I can't believe how foolish you are. I can't believe how foolish you are. She said, what you talking about? He said, you have to wind up the windows first. You have to wind up the windows first. So sometimes we think so we are on haqq, and we're doing haqq and we're doing deen and we're reviving deen, but in actual fact we're very far. We're very far from the reality. We're very far from haqq. The amal for today is Man qada ila salati subh. Whoever leaves for Fajr Salah, qada bi ra'yatil iman. He is leaving with the flag of iman. وَمَنْ qada ila suq. Whoever goes to the marketplaces, first thing in the morning they skip their Fajr Salah and they go to the bazaars, marketplaces, malls, shopping centers, and they must Fajr Salah غدا برأية الشيطان. They are leaving with the flag of shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq of making amal. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.